Calgary Flames general manager Craig Conroy has spoken out about the Jacob Markstrom trade rumors, and to be honest, it's kind of just added a little bit more to the confusion of the whole situation. So in this video, we will dive into these rumors, kind of look between the lines to see if we can figure out the truth behind what will transpire come trade season. But before we get into all of that, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. But without further ado, let's hop in and talk about how Conroy speaks out. Yes, it kind of seems in a way like, oh, finally Conroy is addressing these rumors, and we had a little bit of a taste of it at the NHL prospect combine, the draft combine. A lot of the media was there and able to talk to a lot of these GMs. And the only real update Conroy provided at the time was, look, the Flames, we're not going to rush into anything. We're not going to make any deals we don't want to make, which was good to hear in a way. But it also had some of the fan base up in arms saying, what are you doing? We want to avoid, another sort of Johnny Gaudreau, Adam Fox situation kind of thing. We don't need another unhappy player in Calgary. And either way, we're just trying to avoid all of that. But now Conroy has given a new update. A new interview has come out. And it's kind of almost added a little bit more to the confusion of the entire Jacob Markstrom trade rumor saga. Oh my gosh, that's such a long title for it. Let me know down below in the comments if you can think of a better name for it, just to save my breath and spew out less syllables to you. I know I am yapping. But let's dive into this article first and foremost, and it comes from Eric Francis of Sportsnet. He got to sit down one-on-one with Craig Conroy, lucky guy. So here is the article. Flames GM Craig Conroy says Markstrom has not asked for a trade. Now, if we throw it back to around the trade deadline, then, Markstrom didn't ask for a trade either. It was initially, brought upon him. He was asked, hey, do you want to waive your no movement clause? I should say this, allegedly, they said, hey, do you want to waive your no movement clause? You're going to New Jersey, and then it didn't happen, and then he got super upset with management and some of the higher ups. We've all heard it a million times, and it just kind of sparked this whole saga going crazy and really spiraling all the way up until now, and we're still talking about it. And I almost feel bad for the guy since I'm always making these trade rumor videos. I'm sorry, Markstrom. I don't mean to throw your name through the mud or anything. It's just what is hot in this fan base right now. But let's dive into the article here. So, Craig Conroy wants to make it patently clear that he's not facing an ultimatum of any sort when it comes to the future of Jacob Markstrom. He's never come and said he wants out, said the Flames GM of his netminder, who has 2 years left on his contract. That's never been mentioned. He never said that. So even though we know Jacob Markstrom has been very, he's kind of shown that he's been upset with the organization, with some of the higher ups in the organization of how they have talked about him and let sort of some details go into the media. And he's just overall upset with the franchise, but he still hasn't come to Conroy and said, you have to trade me, which again, it makes sense. And I'm sure it's the truth, but it also adds some strange confusion to it all. Is Markstrom, does that mean he wants to stay in Calgary, or does that simply mean that he hasn't yet gone up to Conroy and said, please trade me, I want out? It's interesting. We've reached almost every level we possibly could in the Jacob Markstrom trade rumor saga. Again, let me know a better title. But either way, it's so interesting that Conroy is now saying, look, Markstrom doesn't want out, or at least he hasn't said he does, so we're just going to keep rolling. And I know a lot of people are happy with that, and they'd like to keep Markstrom in order to mentor Wolfie a little bit more for another season or two, and then trade him a couple deadlines away from now. But you kind of got to trade the most you can. We'll get into that a little bit more later in this video, but let's continue the article. That hasn't prevented many from interpreting the frustration aired by the netminder amidst late season trade rumors as a desire to move on from the rebuilding club this summer, and that chatter bothers Conroy. I'm sure it does, and that's great to hear that it's bothering Conroy. Before, like we've said a million times, Markstrom may be unhappy with management and others within the franchise. Now Conroy's doing the right thing and is protecting his player a little bit more and just letting it be known that he cares about the human side of this. Because look, we talk about Jacob Markstrom and Craig Conroy all the time, and we kind of hate on what they do in their day-to-day job. No one's doing that to me about my day job, but here I am. I'm the number one guy doing it. I feel bad about it, but it is what hot is hot once again. But either way, let's just continue on in the article here. So it's part of the game, but it does bother me because it's always out there. There's something about the goalie all the time, and I don't think it's fair to the goalie either, Conroy said. I feel more for him because I've been on the other side of this. We all remember when Connie was a player. Everyone wants to speculate and throw things out there, and I don't think it's fair to him. And this is a little bit refreshing to hear from Conroy. We know Conroy has to be a professional at the end of the day, and it is part of the game, the whole trade speculation part, trade rumors, free agency rumors, all of it involved about players, and there is a human side to it as well, as I briefly mentioned before. But this is good to hear from Conroy that he truly cares about his players because, like I said, we want to avoid one of those situations where a player hates playing here and wants to be on the way out. I know Markstrom isn't quite comparable to the situations of Johnny Hockey, Adam Fox, Matthew Tkachuk, Noah Hanifin. We could go on. I know there's more, but either way, it's good to hear from Conroy that he does care. But does that mean that he will make the right decision managerially? Is that even a word? For the Flames to get the most assets back? I don't know. We will just have to see. Let's continue on here. Ask how the goalie market has changed since the Flames and Devils held swap talks before the trade deadline. Conroy shrugged. I don't know how the goalie market has changed. So Conroy's kind of beating around the bush a little bit here. Either he absolutely knows what the goalie market is like, and it is worse than it was back at the trade deadline, or maybe the market has changed, but Markstrom's value is less. Because there's a lot of people who think, really, Conroy should have traded Markstrom at the trade deadline to get the most back for him. And it looks like that may end up being the truth. Or the other side of it is that he actually doesn't know how the goalie market has changed. Calling around, I'm sure he's not calling about goalies, but either way, I think he knows more than he is letting on. But let's wrap up the article here. The Flames need to cash in on Markstrom at some point and start giving Dustin Wolf reps as their goalie of the future. But without options, it's clear the Flames aren't keen on giving up their MVP for what the Devils are willing to offer. And so, the speculation will continue right through to next week's draft. Next week! Oh my goodness, it's already next Friday. This is interesting here. It seems as though if the Devils aren't meeting the Flames' demands, then a trade might not be all that likely. I know there's other teams in there that we've talked about before, but what the heck is going on here? The trade rumor saga, the Jacob Markstrom trade rumor saga couldn't be getting more complicated and more confusing. What the heck is going to happen? We just want it to end and we want something to happen. Either know that a trade won't happen or a friggin' trade at this point. So let's dive into what's the truth. What is the truth in this situation? A lot of us, we just don't know. What is the truth? What's going on? Are the Flames going to trade Jacob Markstrom? Does he want to stay here? Has he gone to Conroy and asked for a trade? What is going on? Well, let's just try and kind of dive into it a little bit. As we know, the Devils are interested, but this was a recent article as well, if you missed it. It was a big report that the Senators are aggressively pursuing Markstrom. So even if the Devils are out, there's at least another team in there that is very, very interested in the goalie himself. It's also been reported that, a lot of people think Markstrom won't waive for Ottawa, and that also makes sense. The Devils are probably likely more ready to contend than the Sens are. There's other teams in there, like the Leafs, probably won't be able to meet the Flames' demands. Teams like the Kings could potentially happen. We've heard Hurricanes, Red Wings. I mean, at this point, there's probably been at least half the league linked to Jacob Markstrom, but it's very, very, very interesting. And the other article I want to bring up here, the other side of what's the truth here is, does Markstrom want to play here? And this was an article from not too long ago. Markstrom, I don't know where I'll play next season. I think if he really did want to play here, he wouldn't have said this. He would have said more, yeah, I'm ready to play. I want to play. Let's get it going, boys, kind of thing. The classic hockey talk. I could have used more of a hockey accent. I apologize for that. But what's the truth here? I personally think if we read between the lines, Jacob Markstrom is unhappy here and would rather be traded, but he is not going to directly go to Craig Conroy. And Craig Conroy, he's not going to fully let on what is going on, but I think he is searching for the most he can get back for Jacob Markstrom. But either way, I'm sure this won't be the last video on the Jacob Markstrom trade rumor. This was just a pretty big update, finally hearing from Conroy. If you want to check out Eric Francis's article, please go ahead and try and read between the lines more than I did. It is worth your while. But let's have enough of that, and let's go into the comment of the day. And this one was a good one here. I really liked it a lot, and it came from user Shiny Zekrom. I believe it was a comment today, a few days ago as well, from this lad. Trading away your star goalie that was in Vezina conversations in recent years to retool and give a potential star some time to shine makes sense. That is a route the Flames probably should go. Trading away all your top-end defensemen so you hang that goalie out to dry will just frustrate him and stunt his growth. That will be detrimental to the retool. Yes, yesterday's video involved a report that kind of involved MacKenzie Weegar and Rasmus Andersson being linked to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've been linked elsewhere as well. I think there's no way the Flames trade away Weegar. Raz, it could make sense, but it is true. You need some sort of NHL caliber defense so that we don't just kill any confidence and growth and development for Dustin Wolf. I like this comment a lot. It made perfect sense. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.